যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের নাম সেখানে আনন্দ ধাম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের গীতি সেখানে প্রেম প্রীতি আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের গীতি সেখানে প্রেম প্রীতি আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে নেই কো ব্যথা আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের কথা সেখানে নেই কো ব্যথা আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের বোধ সেখানে নেই কো ক্রোধ আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের বোধ সেখানে নেই কো ক্রোধ আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মাতৃলোক সেখানে নেই কো শোক আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মাতৃলোক সেখানে নেই কো শোক আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের ভাব সেখানে অমৃত লাভ আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে মায়ের ভাব সেখানে অমৃত লাভ আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে শারদা রূপা মা বিরাজে অপরূপা আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম যেখানে শারদা রূপা মা বিরাজে অপরূপা আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম বসিয়া মায়ের কোলে ডাকি মাকে মামা বলে আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম বসিয়া মায়ের কোলে ডাকি মাকে মামা বলে আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম জয় মা শারদা বলি যেথা ডাকে সবে মিলে আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম জয় মা শারদা বলি যেথা ডাকে সবে মিলে আনন্দম শুধু আনন্দম ভজরে মায়ের নাম জপরে মায়ের নাম আনন্দম শুধু
Thank you very much for the beautiful song. Great vibration to start the afternoon with. Now we will hear from Swami Balabhadrananda, the public lecture by him on some essentials in spiritual life according to Sri Ramakrishna.
Good afternoon, everybody. The subject is some essentials of spiritual life according to Sri Ramakrishna. In the very first place, Sri Ramakrishna says that one thing that is most needed is this, that you will have to love God. Though Thakur has talked of all the yogas, the four major yogas, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga, he has also said that of these four yogas, the most easy and convenient for most people in this age is the path of bhakti or devotion. These four yogas are but extension of our natural faculties to spiritual world. In each of our personality, these characteristics are there. In each individual, these four traits are there, that we love to think, we do work. While doing work, knowingly or unknowingly, we concentrate our mind, and through all of this, we possess our love for others. So this love, application of discrimination or rationality or intelligence, doing work, and ability to concentrate or failure to concentrate, all these traits are there in every individual. So corresponding to these traits, we have four yogas, four paths to be united with God. Yoga means by which we get united with God. So these four corresponding to our rationality or faculty of intelligence, we have Jnana Yoga. Corresponding to love, Bhakti Yoga, and corresponding to urge of work or need of doing work, we have Karma Yoga. And concerning our application of mind, we have Raja Yoga. But of all these yogas, Sri Ramakrishna says that Bhakti Yoga is the yoga for this age. And in support of this, he said, it is easy for you. If you follow the path of Jnana Yoga, so long as you have the feeling that you are a body, you feel that you own your body, you have that I-ness, sense of ego, then you cannot follow Jnana Yoga properly. It becomes self-deception. There was one person named Vaishnav Charan. Is he Vaishnav Charan? Khago? Krishna Kishore. Yes, Krishna Kishore, who used to come to Thakur, and he said that he follows the path of Vedanta. He would always say that I am just like the sky. Just as the dust or anything, smoke or anything of this world cannot taint the sky, so all these happenings around me, pleasant or unpleasant, cannot affect me. And Thakur realized that Thakur's opinion was this: yes, theoretically you can follow that. Theoretically, as a good idea, you can have that idea that you are the self and you are untouched or untainted by anything around you, but practicing it is very difficult. So one day he came to know that he did not pay taxes, that is why police have taken away all his properties. And when Thakur went to him, he saw that he is in a very bad mood sitting there. Then Thakur said, I feel that at that time Thakur should not have made that joke. I feel it. A person like Thakur should not have. Then Thakur says to him, why are you worrying so much? It is very unkind of Thakur. Why are you worrying so much? You often say that you are just like a sky. So what is that tax or other properties, etc.? So what Thakur wanted to say that yes, it is the good idea, good philosophy, and good truth also. It is a truth also that our real self cannot be touched by anything. But so long as common people cannot practice this, it becomes self-deception. So bhakti path, Sri Ramakrishna says, the path of devotion, that is the path for the common people in this set. Most people follow the path of, this path is suited for them. And another thing, in support of this path of devotion, Sri Ramakrishna says that when you attempt to progress spiritually, you need to have self-restraint. And that is the great struggle. Because of your samskara, this world attracts you. The enjoyments of the world attracts you. And that disturbs your mind. You cannot concentrate your mind, focus your mind on God. So self-restraint is there. That is a great part of energy is required, spiritual energy is required to overcome, to have self-restraint. In favor of Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, Sri Ramakrishna says that in the path of devotion, in Bhakti Yoga, this self-restraint comes out naturally. You do not pay so much importance to the negatives. You pay more importance to the positive. That means you try to develop your love for God. The very simple example, simile Sri Ramakrishna used to give, that if you proceed eastward, the western horizon will automatically become further from you. So try to proceed eastward. Try to develop your love for God. If you can develop your love for God, if you can develop taste in the matter spiritual, then automatically you will find that you will automatically you will grow in you the detestation for the worldly enjoyment. Then Sri Ramakrishna also said, in some places, Sri Ramakrishna says the Bhakti Yoga is very good, but even better than that is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti, devotion with a mixture of knowledge. Why it is better than Bhakti? Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda explains it. In one place, Swamiji, they are all for all the yogas. All the yogas, the Shamanna have synthesis of all the four yogas. But when they compare one yoga, when Swamiji compares one yoga with the other yoga, the merits and demerits, so regarding devotion, Swamiji says it is a very powerful yoga because it draws your entire emotion, so it can bring about great transformation in your personality. All these things are positive things, but one danger is there, that it often turns into dogmatism. So lest bhakti does not turn into dogmatism, that is why a mix of knowledge should be there. Knowledge means, Sri Ramakrishna simply said that if you know that there is only one, that is knowledge. If you know that there are many, then this is bhakti. So what will be the gyan? What will be the gyan that should be mixed with bhakti, so that it becomes devoid of any negative sides, it becomes devoid of any blemishes. See, the jnana part of this is that we have to know that whom I worship, my chosen ideal, the God I worship, maybe Krishna. That Krishna has become Ramakrishna, that Krishna has become Christ. So my God has become all. This knowledge of oneness should be there, and also this knowledge should be there that Supreme Brahman has taken various forms of prophets, avatars and deities. As Sri Ramakrishna says, from Om comes Kali, comes Krishna and comes Rama. Om is the symbol of Brahman. From Brahman becomes various godheads, Brahman becomes various avatars. So this jnana, this sense of knowledge should be there. If it is mixed with bhakti, then the path of devotion becomes all safe for us. Then this bhakti, what is bhakti? Bhakti means bhalobasha. Bhakti means love. Sadhu asmin parama premo rupa. Narada Bhakti Sutra. Narada, in the very first aphorism, Narada defines bhakti. Sa means here devotion. Sadhu asmin parama premo rupa. Devotion means supreme love for God. That is why Sri Ramakrishna says that first of all you have to love God. Now the question is, how can we love God? For most of us, God is invisible. We can love a human being, but for most of us, we cannot see God. God is invisible. So how can we love God? Is it possible to love God? It is possible to love God, and there are many ways following which we can develop love for God. Sri Ramakrishna says, first of all, he says this, that from Vaidhi Bhakti comes Raga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means ritualistic worship, ritualistic devotion. From ritualistic devotion ultimately comes devotion full of love. And Sri Ramakrishna also says this, you have to do some work, keeping faith in Guru's instruction. By work, here he means spiritual practice. Keeping faith in the instruction of your Guru, you have to do some work. Then you will develop love. First you will develop that Nishtha Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti and Nishtha Bhakti, and then gradually you will develop love. So, whatever our Guru has said, given instruction daily, Guru has instructed us to sit maybe for twice or thrice at least to do jopam and meditation, to count, to do jopam at least for 108 times. So with all faith in Guru's words, we have to go on doing this. In the beginning, it may seem mechanical. For many, from the very beginning, they start enjoying this spiritual practice, but for some it may be mechanical or dry in the beginning, but still we should stick to it. If we continue practicing our regular spiritual practices as instructed by Guru, gradually we find within ourselves that strong urge for those spiritual sessions. Throughout the whole day, we feel, maybe we are engaged in some other work, but throughout the whole day, we feel an urge. When my all engagements, all work will be over, and I will be able to sit face to face in my heart with my beloved God. So gradually, then we'll realize that gradually this Prema Bhakti or Raga Bhakti is developing. Then another means to love God is this. Every one of us, we have in our heart love for our near and dear ones. We love our father, mother, parents, children, friends. So everybody has this experience of loving others as well as being loved by others. So these pieces of love, we'll keep that intact, but only we'll give that love that we are experiencing within ourselves for others, we'll give those pieces of love a Godward turn. So Swami Sri Ramakrishna says, from Sri Ramakrishna's life we find an example. One widow young widow came to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna asked, she told Sri Ramakrishna that I cannot have good meditation. I cannot meditate at all. Well, why? Sri Ramakrishna immediately understood. Why we meditate? Whose face come in your mind? Whose face? That woman said, my nephew's face come. Whenever I try to think of my chosen ideal, my nephew's face comes. Sri Ramakrishna said, her chosen ideal was Gopal. So Sri Ramakrishna said, no harm in that. From now on, you treat your nephew as the Balagopal. When you will attend to him, when you will bathe him, you will think that you are bathing or feeding the Balagopal himself. And with simple faith in Sri Ramakrishna's words, she started to do the same from that day onward. And Sharadanandaji Maharaj in his biography on Sri Ramakrishna writes that within a small period, that lady attained Bhav Samadhi. So it is possible that to turn our love towards near and dear ones, Godward, we can turn those loves into love for God. Sri Ramakrishna gives example, he talks of such couples are there. Master Aim is asking, we do not find such couples normally, but they are there, who are devoted wholeheartedly. They are doing samsara, they are in the household, they are doing all the household activities like any other householder, but actually they are doing their everything, thinking that all his near and dear ones are different forms of God only. So Sri Ramakrishna advises one devotee that when you will serve your sons and daughters, you will think that you are serving Gopal. When you will serve your parents, mother and father, you will think that you are serving veritable gods and goddesses. So this way, this is what he said to Swamiji also, Shivogane Jive Seva. So our known experiences of love, we can give that a Godward turn. By that also, we can develop our love for God. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, his another important advice for spiritual life is chant his name, chant God's name. He pays very much importance in repetition of God's name. He says, God's name is purifier. If you chant God's name, even mechanically, you may feel that you are doing it mechanically, but you do not know. We see on the uppermost few layers of our mind. We are aware of only uppermost few layers of our mind. But if we chant God's name, that works. Its effect is infallible. We may not be aware. We may think that mechanically we are repeating God's name, but it has no effect. At least I do not find any effect, any palpable effect. But it goes on working from the deep within our mind. So gradually it purifies our mind. Sri Chaitanya, he has not written many things. Say he has a wonderful poem, wonderful verses, a wonderful slokas. Hymn he has written. That hymn starts with this: that God, I am so indebted to you. You are so gracious. You have so many innumerable names you have, and you are so gracious that in each of your name you have entered your full power. In each of the name, not only the name Hari, not only the name Krishna, every name of God. According to Chaitanya Dev, every name of God is potent with complete power of God. So you have done this, and you have not fixed any fixed hours for repeating your name. Anytime, anywhere, you have permitted us to chant your name. Then Chaitanya Dev, out of humility, says, we do not accept it, but in spite of this, so unfortunate I am that I have not been able to develop love to chant your name. This is not true. This is not true with Chaitanya there. But other things are, those are true. Those we should learn from them. That each name is potent. Nam and Nami is of it. Nam means the name Ram, and the Ramachandra, the avatar himself. There is no difference between them. The name Ramakrishna, if the name Ramakrishna is written here, there is Ramakrishna. We have to have that faith. That is the strength of our mantra. The mantra that we are given by the Guru, that is why it is so powerful. Gurus add some Viju mantra also. The general meaning is that you should accept both, because this world is the realm of the Divine Mother. This is the general interpretation, but there are other interpretations also, deeper interpretations also be possible, deeper and further interpretation of our mantras. The thing is this: God's name is there. God's name means God is there within our mantra. God's name is, mantra is God, God Himself. Not only God, God's divine power is there, Shakti is also there. Avatar is there, Avatar Shakti is also there. So that is why any God's name is so very powerful. When Guru gives this, Guru's power also enters in that. So mantras, divine names are so very powerful. Sri Ramakrishna says, as an important part of our spiritual practice, Sri Ramakrishna advises this: go on repeating name. God's name is Nirmali, purifier. Without your conscious understanding, we may understand also. Without our conscious understanding, it goes on purifying our mind. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, prayer, yes. Pray, go on praying to God. We sometimes feel that we are praying, but it is not reaching God's ears. No, it is not so. Sri Ramakrishna says, Tini khub kaan khorke, bolchen. Tini khub kaan khorke means that he is very sharp of hearing. Whatever prayer you have done in your life, whole life, everything, each of the prayers has reached his ears. Shanandji said that yes, we often say that he does not hear or know. Every prayer, each of the prayer he listens to, he reaches his ear, but he does not sanction on all the prayers. All the prayers, because he knows much more than me, much better than me, which prayer, the things we are demanding, wanting, praying are not always beneficial for us. So he knows the best, which prayer will be good for us. So that is why he does not immediately sanctions all prayers. Some prayers he does not sanction at all, because that will do me harm. And some prayers he waits to see, waits for the exact time, right time. I want something now. That would not be good for me. If I have this, there will be additional problems which I cannot foresee now. So he does not grant it. He may grant it after 10 years. And meanwhile we may think, we may complain, then Thakur is not listening to anything. So Sri Ramakrishna says, each and every prayer he has heard, and he gives us simile. He says that পিঁপড়ের পায়ের নুপুর ধ্বনি তিনি শুনতে পান, পিঁপড়ের পায়ের নুপুর ধ্বনি, jingling of the anklets around the feet of ants. Just imagine ants feet, anklet round ants feet, and jingling of that. Ant is walking, we cannot hear any sound. Ants walking, jingling, anklets jingling, that sound, even that sound he can hear. So we have to go on praying. We have been, our seniors, they advised us when we are brahmacharis, they advised us as a formula: try and cry. Try and cry. Try and cry. Try, yes, self-effort is required. Purushakar and Daiva, both are required. Both are required. Yes, everything is in God's hand. Without His wish, even a leaf does not move. That is true. But to everybody He has given some power. Each one of us is born with some power. Thakur gives an example of that cow and the cowboy. The example of the cow which is tethered to a pole, and the cow, maybe the rope, the length of the rope is 40 feet. So the cow can move at 10 feet along a radius of 10 feet, along a radius of 12 feet, along a radius of 30 feet. The cow is sitting there. He says that cow is grazing within a radius of 10 feet, 15 feet. The maximum length of the rope is 40 feet. If the cowboy sees that every now and then, very frequently, the cow is trying to go beyond that 40 feet radius, then he comes and removes that, so that the cow can move about the entire field. So entire field, that is the area of God's grace. And the 40 feet, the area within that 40 feet radius, that is the area of our self-effort. So the amount of power the God has already given to us, we have to exert it fully. We have to exhaust our Purushaka, the limit of our Purushaka totally. We have to go to the end of our Purushaka, our self-effort. So both we should do. Try and try. We have to pray. Merely try we will not do. Everything we cannot achieve. Suppose we have to control our senses, we have to have perfect purity. We will try our best. But until we have the grace of the Divine, we cannot be established in purity, securely, permanently. One sadhu, he said in presence of Mother, Holy Mother, to Holy Mother, he said, the Mother, no worldly thought now crosses my mind. Immediately Mother said, don't say that, don't say that. Why? Mother should be happy. Mother should be happy. That is the right kind of mental state that a sadhu should possess. But Mother is saying that don't say that, don't say that. Why? It is because Mother knows what has happened, that he has been able to come to this state. Surely he has tried tried sincerely, utmost. But it has been possible. He has exerted his most, but it has been possible only by the divine grace. Only the Mother or Thakur has seen that he has tried, he is sincere. So he has granted that, so that your mind remains pure. So this should be there. So try and cry. We have to be prayerful always. At the same time, we have to try our best. Without one, without the other, one cannot be effective. Of course, we can say that God's grace does not depend on anything. God's grace is unconditional. If God wishes, He can do anything. But general rule in the spiritual area also, spiritual field also, is this, that these both are required. Self-effort as well as divine grace. Both are required. That is why Thakur gives so much importance to prayer. Then holy company. Holy company also is very useful. Holy company, regarding holy company, Thakur says that holy company inspires love for God. Sri Ramakrishna says, exact words, in many places he has said this, company of the holy begets yearning for God. Sri Ramakrishna says, even for the sadhus, sadhu sangha is required. Sadhu sangha is required for everybody. Whole company of the holy means not only sadhu, realized soul, he may be householder also, advanced devotee also. So this is required. Company of good bhaktas, good sadhus are required for bhaktas as well as sadhus. Begets yearning for God. It awakens Shraddha, that is faith in God. Then comes Nishtha, single-minded devotion to God. From single-minded devotion comes love of God. Then we have to turn all our work into worship. We have to do every work in a disinterested manner. But the best thing is, Karma Yoga can be, Nishkama Karma can be done following the path of, Karma Yoga depends on both the path, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. It can be done in a disinterested way, following Jnana Yoga also. But that is very difficult. I will be doing karma, but I think this karma is nothing but an interaction between my senses and this world, senses and the sense objects. It is just like a reaction. I am only witness to that. Following the Gyan path, following the path of knowledge, you can do karma yoga having this attitude to karma. That karma is just like a reaction between my senses as well as the objects of the world. So, but this is very difficult, because any time the small ego may creep up and immediately it will not be karma yoga. Only one example is there, Sri Ramakrishna has given only one example in the gospel or anywhere where we find how to do karma, how a jnani can do nishkam karma. That example is the example of Sage Bash. Sage Bash has come, he is going to cross Yamuna, and there are gopis also, who are also about to cross Yamuna. But the Yamuna was at that time on high tide, so could not be crossed, very difficult to be crossed. Then at that time the Basha, Sage Basha came to them. Here the gopis are not to be taken as those gopis who played with in Rasalila with Sri Krishna and who are rishis, as Sri Ramakrishna said. They are just common women, milkmaid of Vrindavan. So Vasudev came, the gopis said that you can do everything because you are a realized soul. So somehow you do something so that we can cross the river Yamuna. Then Vasudev said, okay, I'll do that, but I am very hungry now. Please feed me something. So they gave all those nonis and etc., whatever they had with them. So Vasudev ate all of them. Then then addressing the river Yamuna, who is considered as a goddess, the Vyasa said, Mother Yamuna, if I had not taken anything, then please divide yourself so that we can cross. Immediately that Yamuna became two and they could cross through Yamuna. Then they were very much surprised, the gopis were very much surprised that Vyasa in our presence he took everything. And he said it, complete lie, he said. Yes, a person can say complete lie, no doubt about it. But Yamuna the goddess, how could she accept that and obliged Vasudev? Thing is that these gopis are common women. So when you will talk with them, generally the realized soul, they do not create buddhi bhedo. They may be realized, but when they will be among the common people, they will mix with them as any common man. So he talked with the gopis. They are ordinary women, not those playmates of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. You must keep this in mind. So in their own the language they will understand. He spoke in that language that I am hungry. Actually, he had to say that my body is hungry. So he said, I am hungry. But to the mother goddess, Mother Yamuna, here, there he told the truth. Actually, to the gopis he told the lie. That he always understands himself as the self. But to gopis he had to, because he had to maintain the body. That is why he said, If you would have said, my body is hungry, what they would have thought? Nobody knows. Okay, go elsewhere. So he said, to Mother Jamuna, he said the right thing. Truth, that is a mother obliged. And so, Karma Yoga, following the path of Jnana Yoga is possible, but that is rather difficult. For most of us, Karma Yoga, following the path of Bhakti Yoga. What do we do? The thing is very easy. Whatever work, my samsara, as Sri Holy Mother says to a householder, devotee, lady devotee, she said, whose family is this? Samsara ka, whose family is this? This family belongs to Thakur only. It is by the will of Thakur, wish of Thakur, that you are in this household. So it is Thakur's household. Always you will think that in Thakur's household you are doing Thakur's work. So this is the attitude with which one can do Karma Yoga following the path of Bhakti. That we do. Since the day we joined Ramakrishna order, we have been advised. Every work is Thakur's work. This is not your work. This Sangha is Thakur's. This Sangha is Sri Ramakrishna. So whatever work you do, every work is Sri Ramakrishna's. So offer all your food, result of the work at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. This way, everybody can do it. So Sri Ramakrishna says that you turn all work into worship. Whatever we do for God is worship. Whatever we do for God. If we clean the room, if we think that this room belongs to the entire ashrama, entire household belongs to Sri Ramakrishna, then every work I do there belongs to Sri Ramakrishna and become puja. So Sri Ramakrishna says, turn all work into worship. Then very much stress on service in Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Sharada Devi ideology. We are under this wrong impression. Many of us are under this wrong impression that Sri Ramakrishna was always prone to be engaged in japa, meditation, etc. See, it was Swami Vivekananda who introduced service, work, etc. It is not so. We all know that Sri Ramakrishna himself performed this Shivogani Jivashaga, which he uttered in presence of Narendranath, and which Narendranath later preached to the world. He himself performed that while he was going to Kashi along with Mathur Babu. On the way, Mathur Babu halted at Deoghar. His intention was that so much expenses for pilgrimage, so there was his jamindari at Deoghar, so he will collect some taxes from the people there, from his subjects there, so he halted there. But seeing those poor people, famished people, Sri Ramakrishna said that you have to exempt them from paying taxes. So Mathur Babu agreed to that. Not only that, you have to feed them one day sumptuously. Not only that, you have to give them oil to smear on head, and you have to give every one of them one piece of cloth. So all these things are not there, and Mathur Babu hesitated a little. There's so much expenses will be required for pilgrimage. It will be additional expenses. Where from I will meet it? Immediately Sri Ramakrishna went among those poor people, sat among them and said, I won't go to Kashi, I won't visit Varanasi. These people, they have no one, I will stay among them. So, you see, so Mathur Babu had to oblige, he had to bring by a separate train, he had to bring all items and give them as Sri Ramakrishna wanted, and after that Sri Ramakrishna proceeded towards Kashi. 1 year after, the same thing happened in a place named Kolai Ghata at Ranaghat, some 100 kilometers from Kolkata. And I visited that place, Kolai Ghata, some 10 years back. And there also the same thing happened. And there also Sri Ramakrishna made Mathuranath to exempt their taxes and to give each one of them a piece of cloth, etc. One family was there who received that cloth from Sri Ramakrishna. They understood, they later came to know who Sri Ramakrishna was, so they preserved that cloth. They told me, that we preserved that cloth. We did not use that cloth so long, We preserved that court till 1978. But after that there was a devastating flood and everything was washed away. Along with that cloth also was washed away. So this Shivogyane Jive Shiva, Sri Ramakrishna himself first performed. After that he made Swami Vivekananda to do that. We know, we discussed here also that Swami Vivekananda wanted to be immersed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, like Shuddhava. What do you want? Swamiji said, like Shuddhava, I'll be ever immersed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Sometimes I will come down from Samadhi, sometimes I will wake up to this world and take some food to maintain this body. Again I will be immersed into Samadhi. A Vedantic Guru should be very happy. If you read Vivek Chudamani, you will find that the Guru is instructing the disciple. Towards the end, we find that Guru finds that disciple has realized Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then Guru is very happy. He goes on his own way, and the disciple goes on his own way preaching this gospel of Vedanta. This naturally happens. Nowhere you will find in the Vedas or Vedanta or Upanishads or anywhere that a very capable, very adept, very eligible disciple of Vedanta is begging for the supreme Vedantic state or truth, and the Guru is scolding him. Guru, what he is saying? I did not expect you to be so mean-minded. Can you imagine? He wants Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And that the Guru says it is a sign of mean-mindedness. No. There is a still higher stage than that. Don't you sing? Yo kuch hai so tu hi hai. You always sing this. That Sri Ramakrishna loved to hear that song. It is a song by Jafar Ali. Jog, everything, whatever I see is you only. That is your goal. You have to be like a big banyan tree to give shade to the whole people of this universe, people of this world. I want you to be Gyani and Bhakta both. This is Bhikkham. Sri Ramakrishna says, Nirvikalpa Samadhi means Gyan. The goal of Jnana is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna categorically said there is still a higher stage than that. So attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi, but don't remain immersed in that. Calm down. Calm down. Become awakened to this world. If a man who is able to have Nirvikalpa Samadhi himself does not want to be awake to this phenomenal world, nobody can awaken him. Nobody can draw him from that state, supreme state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi to this world of duality. So, that is there is a song in Bengali on Swami Vivekananda. Devata tumi ki jibo dukhe gole Brahmananda helai tajile. Oh God, addressing Swami Vivekananda as God. Oh God, being moved by the sufferings of human beings, Brahmananda helai tajile. Renouncing hearth and home and kingdom, all these things are negligible, very trifling compared to this. You have achieved Brahmogyan. You had that. You possess that Brahmogyan, the supreme knowledge, the state of supreme bliss you acquired. But being moved by the sufferings of humanity, you renounce that. Not only you renounce heart and home, you renounce Brahmogyan also to ameliorate the sufferings of human beings. So how great was Swamiji's heart. That is why Baburam Maharaj, Swami Premananda ji, when he would say, see, that new brahmacharis were meditating. Yes, you are meditating good, but what are you meditating upon? You are meditating upon your chosen ideal surely, but along with that, Swami Premananda ji will say, along with that, you should also meditate upon Swamiji's heart. so that each one of you can have that large-heartedness. So this is the thing. So very much stress on service. We know that Shiva Gyani Jiva Seva, Sri Ramakrishna uttered, and nobody could understand what was there. Nobody could find anything extraordinary in that utterance. But Swami Vivekananda Narendranath, he came out and said, what a new light I found in Gurudev's this utterance. So long as we used to think that if you want to proceed spiritually, the first thing you have to do this, you have to throttle your heart. You have to throttle your all, soft feelings. You have to be hard because this world is unreal. So you have to be stone-hearted. Only then this world is a world of Maya. Then only you can proceed. But now I understood. No. Whatever love, you increase your love. Only things you see that whom you love is but another form of God. Baburam Maharaj writes to a brahmachari, you love everybody. Without any hesitation, you love. But remember, beware. Exactly, perfectly in the sense of Narayana Buddhi. Perfectly is seeing Narayana in him or her. No bird in loving. Indiscriminately can love. But so that love does not become a bondage, a binding for you, you should be always alert that Ishvara Buddhi is there. Whom you are loving, you are loving as Ishvara. So this is a great thing in our order. It is called Seva Yoga. Many of our stalwart Swamis, they have termed it as Seva Yoga, Gambhiranandaji, Premeshanandaji and others. Why they have termed it Seva Yoga? This is a uniqueness. Swamiji has repeatedly said that you have to harmonize all the 4 yogas. The ideal of Sri Ramakrishna is that we'll follow all the yogas together because that is natural. That is easier. By that way, we do not waste any of our spiritual energy. Just imagine, it will be a longer, just imagine, I give you an example, that is Chaitanya Dev has gone to Kashi and there is what is his name? That Vedantic? Prakashananda, Chaitanya, not Swamiji. Sri Chaitanya has gone to Kashi and there is Prakashananda Saraswati, who is a Vedantic scholar and a sadhu also. And after Chaitanya has gone there, all his disciples are gradually disappearing. They are joining Chaitanya there. So he is naturally very annoyed with Chaitanya there. So where from a madcap has come, he is singing and dancing and everybody is following him. So he is very angry and annoyed with Chaitanya there. So what has happened? One day he is giving, his number of students have already dwindled to a very few. So he is giving Vedantic lessons to the very few who are still remaining. At that time he heard that came to his this singing of that kirtan, that party is coming, led by that madcap coming, beating of drums, that cymbals and songs are coming. He is trying to concentrate on the book, but that sound is coming nearer and nearer. It has come very close, very close. He is trying his utmost that he will not look at that direction. He has come just before his ashrama there. He can understand. He is standing there, proceeding slowly, Chaitanya, but he will not look at him. Suddenly he looked at him. Immediately he cast down. He looked at his book, but there he cannot see book. That wonderful glowing face. Just a single glance he had. That glowing face is there. He cannot see anything in the book, that glowing face. Only one glance he had. Again it looked at him. Again he did this. Thrice he did. Only thrice he looked at Chaitanya Dev. After that, what had happened, he could not know. Then everybody saw that Prakashananda is running towards Chaitanya Dev, and Chaitanya Dev is waiting like this. So, this type of things happened. What I want to say is, you see, it might have happened to many sincere spiritual sadhakas. Suppose a sadhaka who is following the path of Jnana. Suppose he has seen a beautiful image of Mother Jagadhatri while coming to his kutia or ashrama. When he is meditating, just like that Prakashananda Saraswati, that beautiful face of Jagadhatri is coming in his heart. And he is trying to remove it away, like any worldly thought, any worldly baser thoughts. He is striving. So much wastage of spiritual energy has taken place among the sadhus for ages because of compartmentalizing these four paths of realization. So, Sri Ramakrishna's idea is this, that in our order, these four yogas will be naturally harmonized, because in personality of each individuals, the traits of these four yogas are already there naturally together. In our mundane life, we do not hesitate, we do not think whether I will think or whether I will laugh. We don't stop to think about that. So why in spiritual life will be so cautious, so sensitive to, sensitive about overlapping all these four yogas. So the harmony of these four yogas automatically take place when we follow the path of Seva. That is why this is the Seva yoga, which gives us scope to automatically, without conscious knowledge, using this conscious knowledge, it helps us to use the harmony of these four yogas, because we are so much concerned. I am serving you. I am so much concerned with the necessity of the object of my service that all the four yogas are automatically gets combined and harmonized within me. So this service is a great thing. And regarding this, that day I said, in our dining hall I said that a very nice incident took place in Camp Irving. Swamiji was there and several devotees were there, both male and female were there. And Swamiji, that was the time of meditation in the morning. Swamiji finds that one of the mid sister is absent. So Swamiji went there to search for her. Then Swamiji saw that she is engaged in cooking something. So he went there and looking over her shoulder, he found that he was simmering something, she was preparing something. Then Swamiji said, okay, you need not come to meditation. My master used to say, you can sacrifice meditation for service. So this is the whole thing. So we have to combine. So to lead our spiritual life, everything we have to combine. All those things. We have to love God. To love God, we have to start with what? We have to do our regular spiritual practices. Regular, as we have been instructed by our Guru, we'll do that. We'll do that. Along with that, wherever we have time, we'll go on repeating the name. Not only during the hours of our meditation in our shrine only, while we are working, while we are before our sleeping, everywhere, whenever we will find time or scope, we'll go on repeating the mantra all the time. Yesterday I told you, to whom I told you, that Nirvananandaji was found to be seen like this, he's like this will be. So Raja Maharaj used to say that through all your activities, this go on, this should continue. The wheel of name should continue through all your activities, So all the time you can do activity, you can repeat the holy name of God. Lokashanda used to say that I can do japam, I can repeat my mantra even when I talk with others, used to say. It is possible. He said surely he did not lie. It is possible. If we practice, it is possible. So that will do. We'll go on praying. Whatever we'll do, we'll go on praying. We'll go on trying. Our part we have to do. Thakur's part, Thakur's knows. If I am sure that my part I have done, my innings I played, beautifully, sincerely, then I am happy. The rest depends on Thakur. So this way I'll do my part all the time, and then I'll try our best to keep holy company of the holy. Company with the holy means not only sadhus, yes, sadhus surely, also advanced soul will mix together, will exchange notes in the company of holy. And Sri Ramakrishna says, our love for God will be developed, will be corrected also, and then we have to work throughout the whole day. This is very important. We have to transform our work into worship, because it is required that unless the whole 24 hours you cannot contemplate on God, like unceasing flow of the oil, nirabachinna toilo dharavat, it is said. If oil is poured from one pot to another pot, there will be no air bubble in that. So it's a continuous flow. Like that continuous flow of oil from one pot to another, we are to think of God. But how can we do that? Carrying on all our responsibility, how can we do that? Unless we can convert our work into worship. We cannot do that. So unless we can convert our work and service to others into worship, we cannot think of realizing God. Again I am saying, repeating that in our Ramakrishna order, sadhus, the monks of the Ramakrishna order never say anything about their spiritual life. If they have achieved anything, they do not say. And if they have not achieved, they won't say at all. But by external science, we understand who has reached or who has not. So we can take it as a automatic truth that our President Maharajis, Vice President Maharajis, our Guru Maharajis of this order, Thakur has chosen them as Bahaduri Cart. Bahaduri Cart is the example Sri Ramakrishna cited in Gospel, big log. Big logs are those who has liberated themselves. At the same time, they are helping many others to get liberated. They are floating, as well as they are floating themselves on the ocean of life, as well as other creatures also are being carried on it to the other side of the shore. So they have surely become Bahaduri Cart. They are surely realized soul. They are leading so many people towards the spiritual goal. So their way of life has been this. For each one of them, if suppose our President Maharajji, he has spent maybe 60 years at the age of, not 60 years, more than 70 years in our order as a monk. He has been spending 70 years as a monk of the Ramakrishna order. If we count this way, if we count every day of his life, how much time in every day of his life he has spent into conventional form of spiritual practices like japa, meditation, reading holy books, and in pilgrimage. These are the conventional form of spiritual practices which we can identify as spiritual practice easily. Is not it so? Japa, meditation, pilgrimage, shraddha, that means reading of scriptures and holy books, then going to pilgrimage, spending in tapasya and pilgrimage, etc. How much time they have spent in these conventional forms of spiritual practices, and how much time they have spent in work and service. If we compare, we'll find that out of 70 years, they have spent 20 years. If we count each day, they have spent 20 years in the conventional forms of spiritual practices and 50 years in this present way of spiritual activities in the forms of work as worship and service as the service of God. So by that only they have reached the ultimate goal. So that is the way. That is the way for everybody, irrespective of we are monks or householders. This we should remember. There is no different ways. There is no different ways in the way of life. There is no qualitative difference between the way of life that a true monk of the Ramakrishna order has to spend, and a true householder followers of Ramakrishna ideology has to spend. So this is our ideal. Thank you very much. I thank you all present here, but I should thank most Kripamanandaji. Because of him only I have been here. When he invited me 6 months before, I'll take 10 minutes, even less. When I was invited 6 months before, I tell you frankly, I felt that I won't be able to go, but immediately I should say no, then he will be hurt. Because it is not possible for me. But seeing his earnestness, I could not, but our practice is this. He has invited me, then I will have to apply to General Secretary Maharaj. Then Maharaj, I have been invited by the minister in charge of Canada Center, Ontario Center, Toronto Center, and I am also willing to go. Say after pondering over this, I submitted that, and then I got the visa, organizational visa. I said to you, we need 2 kinds of visa. Another is visa between the 2 countries, and another is organizational visa. Organizational visa is very difficult to have. So that I got rather easily, but after that I lost all hopes because very difficult it was to get. Then it happened so. So because of his earnestness especially, and also Ishatmanandaji also, he wrote to me, and I found that having USA visa was more difficult to have. Then Ishatmanandaji also tried, but finally that girl, at the request of Kripamanandaji, somebody here, he fixed an interview out of Calcutta. So then it became very smooth. The remaining part of my coming here, during the last 1 month only, it has progressed comparatively very rapidly compared to the remaining part, initial. Yes, so I am very happy, very grateful to Swami Kripamanandaji, because otherwise I would not have this wonderful experience of coming to the West for the first time and having such a beautiful, memorable experience, being amidst everything. These are strong and such a very close-knit community of devotees, admirers and followers of Ramakrishna Vivekananda centering around this Vedanta center. It is something we do not find this in in India. In India. So our devotees would be envious of you. Devotees in India. That you can so sincerely, so easily you can participate in the affairs of the Vedanta center. It is truly, it should have been like this, and it is exactly like this, that the Vedanta center, it belongs to all of you. And that is, credit for that goes to you surely, and credit for that must go to our Kripamanandaji also, because it all depends on what kind of person at the helm is. At that day, I jokingly said, he has completed 20 years. He had completed 20 years. I got the record from Velurmat. Yes, he has completed 20 years here. It does not mean that he will not complete another 20 years. Don't be alarmed. Because I have come from Velurmat and headquarters, they say. Wherever we go, we are not accepted freely. Yes, sir? I have gone there to sleep, but they think that I have gone there to remove their sleep. So don't think that. So that day, I told somebody, he did not know, she did not know, one lady devotee, "Oh Maharaj, you have spent 20 years. I thought you came only the other day." Then I told her, it is because of the kind of person Kripamanandaji is. Otherwise he would have said, "Maharaj, you have come only 5 years. I thought you had spent 20 years." So everything here has been very enjoyable to me. This ashram, all the ambience, first of all this ashram and this ambience, including credit for this should go to both you, the devotees and admirers, as well as Kripamanandaji. I should mention him also, Shalil, Brahmachari, and Buddhadev, and that Goirik and others, volunteers, all the time we have seen, all the volunteers, so that is nice, very nice. And Canada also is a very beautiful country, and I enjoyed Niagara, then that, Thousand Island Park, yes, that is in USA, that also enjoyed, yes, Niagara, then that Replace Aquarium, then that safari, lion safari. Only I felt that these are the animals who do not face any struggle of existence. And that is why they have become lazy. You see, is there anybody, anyone, any being, any man or any creature who has no struggle for existence? Only these animals in lion safari and in other zoos. So everything is enjoyable. Thank you very much.
And also Swami Pramathanandaji's blessing. Swami Pramathanandaji.
Yes, I remember Pramathanandaji very much. Such a wonderful soul. We had the good fortune of having his company. You have also had. Such a simple kind of person. Whenever he would call, I was at Ramakrishna Mission Institute to call. Whenever he would call, he would talk with all the brahmacharis, all the sadhus, not only that, all the workers, kitchen staff, everybody. Such a simple man, such a great soul, unassuming, so full of love. So he has been.
Our Kripamanandaji is really fitting the
name. That I was going to. That I was going to say, but yes, that will. But he feels embarrassed if I repeat that. I should honor his embarrassment also. Okay. Okay, sorry, I have detained you.
Swami, it's you are not the only one who enjoyed our company. We enjoyed your company as well. The title of the talk was Some Essentials in Spiritual Life, but you gave more than some. You gave many essentials.